news on COVID-19 vaccines. The cabinet has approved a budget to procure more Pfizer vaccines. Already, they procured 20 million doses of the mRNA vaccine. Government spokesperson Thanakorn Wangbunkhongchana announced that the cabinet has approved a budget of 4.7 billion baht to procure another 9.9 million doses of the Pfizer mRNA vaccine. He also assured the public that Thailand will be able to procure at least 100 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccines by the end of this year. The target recipients of the Pfizer vaccine are children aged 12 to 17, women who are at least 12 weeks pregnant, medics, frontline workers, the elderly, those with any of the 7 underlying non-communicable diseases, foreigners in Thailand, and those who need to travel overseas, such as students studying abroad and diplomats. So far, the cabinet has procured 80 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines, 61 million of which are AstraZeneca, 19 million are Sinovac, and 20 million of Pfizer.
And about 31 million vaccine doses have been administered so far, mainly with Sinovac and AstraZeneca. At the moment, about 33% of the population have received their first doses, and 10.5% have been fully inoculated with 2 doses, and around 585,000 people have also received their 3rd booster shots as well.
Well, it's definitely a step in the right direction, Kanat.
Right.
Because to procure more MR vaccines is also good news for the country. But of course, some may say that the move has come a little bit late, and that it should have been sooner. And as we mentioned before, it's only a month to go before we begin receiving the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines.
Well, at least there's some hope that those who are waiting for the mRNA vaccines, it's at least like there's at the end of this year, at least we will get the mRNA vaccines.
Definitely.
And still on COVID-19, when we talk about prevention and disinfection, we often think about spraying alcohol, but what about a mouthwash instead? So recently, Mahidol University has developed a mouthwash which claimed that it is effective in killing the coronavirus. The faculties of dentistry and tropical medicine at Mahidol University claim to have jointly developed a mouthwash formula which is 99% effective at killing the COVID-19 virus in the mouth, preventing it from replicating in human cells. The director of the dental hospital of the Faculty of Dentistry said that the mouthwash is an extension of one produced from natural extracts from Thai rice used in the treatment of mouth ulcers, adding that the Institute of Technology and Innovation of Mahidol University is now in the process of applying to the Department of Intellectual Property Rights for a patent. He also assured the public that the mouthwash is safe, it has no side effects on oral tissues, and will help reduce the risk of infections as well.
Meanwhile, the chief of pharmacology department and a member of the mouthwash research team said that it contains the right and safe dose of hydrogen peroxide and other compounds which do not irritate the inside of the mouth. She also said that the mouthwash has undergone lab-controlled human trials among patients in the dental hospital, claiming that it is 99.9% effective in preventing the spread of coronavirus in the body by breaking down the fatty layer of the virus and therefore deactivating it. So the new mouthwash will be put on trial in field hospitals and other treatment facilities.
And this is really interesting, and hopefully we might be able to have access to this mouthwash if the trial in field hospitals are successful.
Exactly, and let's see what the results will be, and if this is really that effective. It will definitely help, as we know that only the vaccines can't anymore, and we talking about the third booster doses now, and even some already getting 4th.
Exactly, because like the vaccines, we will be getting 3rd booster shots, and some are getting the 4th as well because of the Delta variant.
And turning now to one of the main problems attributed to the ongoing coronavirus outbreak, which is infectious waste, which is now being at the level higher than the incinerator's capacities. So we talked to an environmentalist who's also an expert on waste management, Mr. Sonti Kochawat, about what should be done to tackle the problem.
Can you call the problem of overwhelming amount of contaminated waste a crisis and how so?
วิกฤตแน่นอนนะคือในช่วงนี้นะครับขยะติดเชื้อเรามีข้อมูลจากกระทรวงสาธารณสุขนะครับว่าขยะติดเชื้อเนี่ยจากโควิดเนี่ยนะครับในช่วงเดือนกรกฎาคมถึงสิงหาคมเนี่ยนะก็เพิ่มขึ้นถึง 94% นะครับก็เฉลี่ยประมาณ294ตันต่อวันแล้วก็เริ่มมีปัญหาเรื่องการจัดการขยะติดเชื้อเนี่ยตกค้างในหลายพื้นที่นะครับในหลายๆพื้นที่นะครับมีขยะติดเชื้อตกค้างอยู่กำจัดไม่ทันนะครับเช่นจังหวัดนนทบุรีเนี่ยมีขยะติดเชื้อตกค้างอยู่600ตันจังหวัดระยองเนี่ย200ตันเผาไม่ทันครับ
Are the actions the authorities are taking moving in the right direction? What else do you think need to be done to tackle the problem?
ครับก็ในช่วงนี้รัฐบาลก็พยายามที่จะดำเนินการกำจัดขยะติดเชื้อนะครับก็ในบางส่วนก็มาถูกทางนะครับบางส่วนก็ยังทำได้ไม่ถึงตามที่ประสงค์ไว้นะครับยกตัวอย่างเช่นนะครับเรื่องการเก็บขนนะใส่ชุด PPE นะในศูนย์พักคอยนะครับก็ยังสามารถทำได้ดีนะครับแต่ว่ากำลังมองว่าคือขยะติดเชื้อที่อยู่ในชุมชนนะครับที่รัฐบาลเนี่ยยังแก้ไขไม่ตกนะครับปัญหาก็คือท้องถิ่นไม่มีการนำถังสีส้มหรือสีแดงเนี่ยซึ่งเขาเรียกถังใส่ขยะติดเชื้อเนี่ยไปตั้งในชุมชนอย่างทั่วถึงนะครับก็ทำให้ประชาชนเนี่ยนำหน้ากากอนามัยนะครับชุดตรวจโควิดต่างๆ ATK นะครับและก็รวมทั้งขยะไม่ว่าจะเป็นถุงมือนะ PPE นะแล้วก็พวกถุงพวกผ้าก๊อซสำลีทั้งหลายเนี่ยมาทิ้งปะปนอยู่ในเศษอาหารพนักงานเก็บขยะมาเก็บขยะติดเชื้อประเด็นก็คือว่าก็จะทำให้ได้รับเชื้อโควิดที่แพร่กระจายในอากาศเนี่ยนะเพราะฉะนั้นผมมองว่ารัฐบาลจะต้องใส่ใจตรงนี้นะก็คือจะต้องเอาถุงต้องแจกถุงแดงนะให้ประชาชนใส่ขยะติดเชื้อมีถังแดงมาตั้งเพื่อจะรองรับขยะติดเชื้อนะครับและการเก็บขนก็คือว่าจะต้องไปหาเตาเผาเนี่ยเผาให้หมดให้ทันนะ
If the contaminated waste is left unmanaged, how dangerous would it be for the environment and people's health?
การที่เอาขยะติดเชื้อไปกองไว้นะเพื่อจะรอการเผาเนี่ยตากแดดตากฝนเนี่ยนะปัญหาคือเชื้อโรคสามารถแพร่กระจายนะแล้วก็แพร่ลงสู่น้ำใต้ดินน้ำผิวดินรวมทั้งแพร่กระจายในอากาศได้เราพยายามผลักดันให้เอาขยะติดเชื้อในช่วงวิกฤตเนี่ยนะไปเผาอยู่ในเตาเผาชุมชนแล้วก็เตาเผาอุตสาหกรรมนะครับ
And with an increasing amount of single-use plastic waste due to a surge in home delivery, so what do you think can be done?
ครับคือขยะพลาสติกเนี่ยเพิ่มขึ้นในเดือนสิงหาเนี่ยช่วงที่โควิดระบาดเนี่ยค่อนข้างมากนะครับแต่ตอนนี้เรามี delivery เยอะทำให้ขยะพลาสติกเนี่ยเพิ่มขึ้นถึง 25% นะครับจากเดิมเนี่ยปกติเนี่ยที่เรามีอยู่แล้วนะครับแล้วก็พลาสติกตอนนี้เนี่ยคือประมาณ 1.4 กิโลกรัมต่อคนต่อวันนะที่ผลิตขึ้นมานะครับขยะพลาสติกตรงนี้เนี่ยนะก็เพิ่มขึ้นจากเดิมนะถึง 25% แล้วเนี่ยนะปัญหาของเราคือว่าพลาสติกที่เพิ่มขึ้นเนี่ยสิ่งที่เราจะต้องทำคือว่าจะต้องไปจัดการให้หมดแล้วก็วิธีการก็คือว่าเอาไปรีไซเคิลนะพยายามให้ประชาชนรวบรวมใส่ถังแยกขยะแล้วก็เอาไปรีไซเคิลประเด็นที่1นะประเด็นที่2คือว่าเอาไปเป็นเชื้อเพลิงสำหรับ Waste to Energy หรือเตาเผาเพื่อผลิตไฟฟ้านะในส่วนของพลาสติกที่เป็นขยะติดเชื้อเนี่ยนะไม่ว่าจะเป็นเฟสชิลด์หน้ากากอนามัยนะครับหรือว่าถุงมือทั้งหลายพวกนี้เราก็จะต้องไปเข้าเตาเผาขยะติดเชื้อเท่านั้นนะครับ
Well, it's definitely a big problem right now as the amount of plastic and infectious waste is constantly increasing because of the pandemic.
So, of course, be sure to do our part by separating our used masks, face shields, and gloves, and perhaps even label them as such.
Right. Keep going. Okay, now on to the roundup. The government pharmaceutical organization has signed a contract to procure 8.5 million self-antigen test kits for the National Health Security Office and Rajawati Hospital. The first lot is expected to be delivered to Thailand next Monday, where the test kits will be sent to 1,000 locations as listed by the NHSO within 14 days from the signing of the contract.
And a total of 2,542 pregnant women and 134 newborn babies were found infected with COVID-19 between April 1st this year and August 28th. Among these, 68 women and 24 newborn babies have died. The CCSA spokesman Dr. Tawisin Wisanu-Yotin re-emphasized the need for pregnant women to be given priority for inoculation, along with people over 60 and those with any of the 7 underlying diseases, as he sought public understanding over the need to vaccinate these people ahead of others. Meanwhile, more than 31,000 children aged from below 1 to 5 have been infected with COVID-19 in the past 4 months. 9 of them have died, according to the Department of Health.
And an update on the notorious killer cop case. An autopsy of the killed drug suspect's body found that he died of lack of breathing air. The government spokesman said yesterday that culprits may have acted upon their lack of conscience. A leaked video, which has now become viral, shows a group of police officers putting plastic bags on the victim's head before he died. All of the officers in question have been dismissed from the force and apprehended.
And moving on to politics, today is the first day of the no-confidence debate on the Prime Minister and 5 other ministers. Kun Yuttapong Durat-Sathien, who is the deputy head of Pheu Thai, which is the largest opposition party, said that the party is planning to target the Prime Minister for the procurement of submarines and other military equipment worth over 6.2 billion baht when the country is already in an economic crisis. The central debate is expected to last until this Friday, with the no-confidence vote scheduled for Saturday. The main topics are likely to be the government's handling of the pandemic and the slow vaccine rollout, as well as the economic fallout. And this is the third no-confidence motion against the second Prayut Chan-o-cha administration.
So we will have to wait and see what the other opposition MPs have to say about the Prime Minister and other ministers during the central debate.
And exactly, a lot is going on both the pandemic front and also politics, with protests, for example, being organized almost every day as well.
Right.
And moving on now to our other segment, which is the startup. In this episode, we take a look at GoWabi and how they adapt to the pandemic by holding some other online classes, and also now with digital transformation. Now we're taking a look at how the platform is adapting to health, wellness, beauty services online.
Founded in 2016, the GoWabi app is available in Thailand and Indonesia, with 3,000 SMEs providing services mainly in Thailand and 500,000 monthly users. Headquartered in Bangkok with 40 staff, GoWabi offers discounted bookings for a variety of services with review and rating functions. I talked to CEO and co-founder Samir Chero, who came from Sweden to work in Thailand and other parts of Southeast Asia, about why he left a corporate job and ventured out on a journey with his 2 co-founders and what the company is doing to adapt to lockdown measures.
So I've been living around Southeast Asia. I always had a own personal problem, was to find a barber that could cut my curly hair, basically. After a few years in Lazada, I decided it's time to move on and find something that I want to build myself. So the first problem I wanted to tackle was actually to find barbers. But quickly we realized that finding barbers is only catered to men users, and it's a very niche. We start getting basically female users booking barbers. So then we quickly realized that, okay, there's actually a bigger problem. Barbers is our own personal problem, but there is a bigger problem in the market, and that's also to find, beauty services, to find health services, salons, spas, etc. So we kind of expanded more and more into catering what the market wants and not only what I wanted. And that's basically how we became the GoWabi that we are today.
Mr. Scherer talked about his decision to stay on in Thailand and the region as opposed to moving back home or starting a business somewhere else.
Health and beauty markets in Southeast Asia, I would say the capital would be in Thailand. So it's a very, very big market here, both domestic and tourism. It was kind of natural for us. We were also all based in Thailand. We had the network here already. So that's how we started in Thailand and then looking outside.
The startup was doing well before COVID hit, having grown almost 400% each year since the beginning, and it expanded from Bangkok to all other Thai cities before moving to Indonesia just before COVID, starting in Bali.
Actually, we started it from my condo library. So it was me and my co-founders. We raised around $1 million in total since start. We kind of became like a household name past year. We were one of the first Thai companies in our industry to partner with Google as well. So people can actually book our partners directly on Google platform.
The demand quickly bounced back every time lockdown measures have been eased, said Mr. Chero, but when his partners are ordered to close, the impact is direct, and so the startup has adapted by focusing more on health and wellness by offering bookings for health checkups at hospitals, for COVID drive-through tests, and for paid alternative vaccination at hospitals.
We need to adapt to the market needs, right? So right now, the consumers, they're not mostly thinking of getting a beauty treatment, for instance. It's mostly health right now. So everyone needs to be healthy, eat well, get their vaccines, or just in general stay safe. We are going more into health industry as well. So that also helped open up our health category. Definitely, actually, during COVID, the demand for health is increasing much more. Definitely the demand for health wellness will increase. It was already growing before COVID. I definitely see this growing even further in Southeast Asia and in the world overall.
The startup is, however, trying not to leave its partners in the beauty industry behind by giving them some advanced income based on their sales data to help them maintain some cash flow. Unfortunately, the damage has been too great for some.
So we pre-sell something, and we transfer some money before to help them survive, pay their staff, etc. And then when things open up, they are ready to receive customers. Definitely something that we wish to see happening more often in also other industries. It's very tough, definitely. So the saddest part is to actually see many of our successful partners and a lot of the SMEs need to close down, and some of them close down completely. They run out of business, basically. A lot of these SMEs have cash flow for maybe 1, 2, 3 months max. Without the SMEs, without these providers, our business is also impacted.
Optimistic about the startup scene in Thailand, Chero also seeks a pickup in growth over the past 2 years.
I've seen it's growing much faster, which is very, very good. We've seen M&As happening, we've seen investment. So overall, it's very, very good for the market.
Hatay Deshiki Tiranan reporting for Thai PBS World.
Well, the idea behind the app is quite interesting, and it does help a lot of us book any of the beauty treatments and all of these services we need online. And I mean, almost everything is now online, and the health and wellness industry is actually growing in Thailand as well.
Definitely, Kunad, and having covered a lot of businesses, getting very creative to adapt to the new normal to survive, and this is one such example. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Good Morning with Thai PBS World, which is unfortunately our last. We do hope to see you again every Friday night in our new program in English, of course, starting September 17.
And in the meantime, we'll still be giving you the latest updates, analyses, as well as exclusive content on our website, thaipbsworld.com, as well as our social media accounts, as well as our weekday programming on Facebook and YouTube Live as well. So make sure that you follow us both on our website and social media as well. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ